force the Zerg attack away. However, that was still a very effective push there. Did a lot of damage, and lalush still has his economy going, getting a lot more Hydralisk. I think Naama's going to be able to kill the rest of this with his medevacs. Stim is done, so he can stim up and do the extra damage, and this Banshee should chase away the rest of them, even with these roaches. A lot of SCVs going down, though, for Naama, even though these Hydras are going to die, and the rest of the forces will go down. Would like to see lalush secure his third at this point, because Naama isn't harvesting gas out of this. Very interesting. He's getting cloaking, though, as there are no overseers down. lalush macroing up a bunch of guys. Really needs to get his third base. He is doing that now up at the north one, so he is electing for this harder, more out of the way to defend one, and he doesn't have to destroy the rocks. And it isn't at the gold, though, so I think there actually are more minerals up at this one, because the gold, while you harvest faster from it, has actually 2 less mineral patches. Anywho, he's going to snipe this Marine off, who was scouting to see if this base was here. Can he see it? I don't think he can see that base is there. So it looks like Naama going to push out, going to try to deny that base. lalush doesn't have as big of a force. He did try to run some Zerglings in here, and he might intercept all those SCVs. Doesn't look like he will. Marines stimming up to run in there now. They are going to be able to chase this away, as Naama is bringing out a lot of guys. lalush turning around, though, is going to snipe off maybe a bunch of these Marines. I think this Banshee is going to do a lot of damage back there, sniping off the Hydralisk, who are the only anti-air. And these SCVs coming, so it looks like Naama going to do a big SCV push, as these Zerglings did get into the back, so he ran his SCVs out. However, lalush is able to turn this just barely around, as these Zerglings did a lot of damage to the economy. So lalush getting back in through some economic damage. Like I said, these backdoor rocks can be very influential for the Zerg player if the Terran doesn't guard them in time, doesn't put a siege tank up there or something. So at this point, Naama completely open. His force has to move everywhere. Really needs to get siege tech, however, he is not. Zerg ranged attacks going down. This is a pretty annoying force with to deal with if you have mostly Marine heavy. And it looks like lalush going to poke back in the front door, seeing as this bunker is unmanned and the main force is back here. It's Marine Marauder with a Banshee, a Viking, and some other stuff. It looks like the bunker goes down. Will he be able to keep these guys up here? He is going to get several SCV shots. He's going to kill 5 or 6 SCVs. Terran force stimming in, though. Marauder's going down. These Hydras trying to desperately get out of there, trying to get the roaches to take the brunt of the force. However, there are Marauders and siege tanks, each of which are very effective against roaches. And it looks like lalush's force will go down, but not before he severely cripples Naama's economy. So it looks like lalush in a pretty good position here. Is continuing to make Hydralisk, though. No siege tech going down yet, which is really what you need against Hydralisk. Even despite the nerf, it's still very good. 4 medevacs down, and about 5 infantry that they can heal. So really not the best mixture of medevacs to infantry, as we see here. However, more Marines coming in are stimming up. Stimmed up Marines are very good against Hydras if you get good positioning. Siege tanks don't have siege yet, but it looks like they'll still be able to do the job even without it. This Marauder just about going to go down, but it looks like Naama barely inching out. More reinforcements from lalush might be able to seal the deal. lalush just about to saturate his third. Not if Naama has anything to say about it. He's moving as a nice micro. They're lifting up the hurt siege tank, so lalush going to retreat for the time being. Would like to see him get some speedlings or mainlings or something. lalush just not making that many men. I wonder where all of his resources are going. I don't think he's had any economic harass or anything like that. Very interesting to see where they're all going. I still have no idea. Naama struggling to get back off bases, as he's very low resource collection. He's very high on minerals because he has enough fuels, but he just doesn't have much other than that. These siege tanks are going to come in. This siege tank, very likely possibility of getting sniped. Siege tanks retreat, giving the Marines enough time, though, to shoot off most of the Zerg forces. Looks like lalush is going to lose his third. He's bringing his drones out, though. He is on creep for the time being. He's going to snipe several Marines as they stim to get away. This siege tank back here, though, siege tank is going down, though, so these siege tanks will be very effective once that is done. A lot of these Marines probably going to get sniped here to the Zerg force, desperately trying to retreat. They're all stimmed up. I really need to see some infestors come down for lalush, because fungal growth on these stimmed up Marines retreating would just be absolutely devastating. Or get some speedy banelings. Still mining off 2 bases for lalush. He is supply blocked at the moment, so I guess that's why he's not producing that many men, as he does have a lot of excess resources. He is, however, losing a lot of guys here, though. These Marines coming in. Marine tank is not that effective against a lot of roaches, especially when tanks don't have siege men. These tanks continue to do some really nice kind of Reaver micro. However, the Zerg force is too much for him. Naama doesn't have the production capacities because he is only off 2 base and kind of a broken 2 base at that, as they aren't either fully saturated. This gas completely remaining unsaturated. lalush just barely staying ahead with his troop production. He does have a lot of guys coming in now, though. Since he isn't supply blocked, he's up to 95 supply. 95, I think I said Sapu there. He's at 95 supply, lalush is. He's down at 108. Naama's only at 67, however, Naama does have a drop going into lalush's third base. This spine crawler going up, not going to be up in time to defend against these Marines. Ooh, a little bit of mismarker there from Naama, maybe. Maybe he realized the Hydra was coming and moved away. Anywho, a lot more roaches coming down there for lalush, realizing he was Hydralisk heavy, and that Hydras aren't the best against Marine tank. These 2 Banshees going to come down here, We're going to see this drone trying to secure this expansion. I assume that's what lalush is trying to do, trying to get this expansion with the drone. So these Banshees going to pick him off pretty easily. As in, oh my gosh, that was so easy. This Marine getting roasted by that Roach. Or getting melted, I guess. Roasted is a Hellion / Colossi word. And who lalush, very scary army here, has been able to out-macro naama this game. It's the opposite as the last few games where now lalush has the 30 food lead over naama. Naama does just have one siege tank sieged up there. Not going to be enough to defend against this huge force, but he's a bunch of Marines coming out. This many Marines against all these Roaches, I cannot agree with that decision. These Cloak Banshees flying overhead. They are going to get in here. There is no Overseer up anywhere nearby, so it looks like they are going to do quite a bit of economic damage before an Overseer morphs in. They do take out 5 or 6 drones there. I'd like to see them also snipe this Hydra. It's going to start going to work on something else maybe. I still see no Overseer going down, so these Banshees would be able to continue their reign of terror. However, they do eventually run out of energy, so continuing to produce more Cloaked Banshees, more Marauders. I like that call with the Marauders. Marauders, good against Roaches, okay against Hydras. However, lalush is almost about to saturate 3 bases. He's getting static defense up at his 3rd one, though he hasn't tried to resecure this 4th one, as this is not exactly the base he wants to secure at this point. I'd say he wants to go back and secure this gold base. naama trying to push out with SCVs. These Marines all stemming in. However, the Zerg has a really good arc or concave on the Terran player, and it looks like he'll be able to defend it. Siege tanks are sieged up on the hill, though. These might be very effective against the Roaches. They're doing a lot of damage to Roaches. However, the Hydras have remained almost untouched as they destroyed most of the Zerg ground force. These Cloak Banshees coming in, though, almost saving the day as the Overseer is over here, and the Overseer is over here. The lalush only 25 food up on naama now. The Overseer is going to go down too, though, so these Cloak Banshees are almost going to have free reign over the rest of the Zerg forces. This Cloak Banshee, though, going in too early as the Overseer still was up and getting sniped. Nice job by the naama there, being able to stay on terms. However, he doesn't have the economy to compete with 3 base Zerg, because he's only up 2 base. And who SCV's coming in for naama, not going to be able to do that much. This Siege Tanks, though, might be able to even it out, though, against these Hydras. lalush losing a lot of guys. These Siege Tanks just being very, very devastating. 5 and 6 kills on each of them, and it looks like naama came out ahead there. lalush at 85, naama at 65, and a Cloak Banshee is up here. Cloak Banshee's doing economic damage, just barely avoiding these 2 spoiling crawlers. Our Spore Crawlers. I'm just messing up stuff all over the place today. lalush continuing to produce guys. I want to see where his rally. I think his rallies are actually running his guys into the Terran troops. He is continuing to stick with Roach Hydra, not going into Ultralisks or getting it faster than anything like that. I think he should try to tech switch, but he is very gas heavy at this point, which does actually support the tech switch. However, naama is just off 1 base now, and he's off 1 base. The Zerg is off 2 base. Would really like to see a few Zerglings dedicated to take down these rocks so he can be off 3 base. Tanks setting up for a slow push for naama, though. They can take out this last base. They will be off even bases. However, naama is down to only 5 patches at his natural. Zerg forces coming in here. They might get lured back into the Siege Tanks. The slow push is going to be very effective for naama. Siege Tanks still always good for this, despite the recent nerf. This is after the past patch, by the way. Siege Tanks always going to be useful because they're splash. And if Siege Tanks coming in, they are going to snipe off several Roaches there with the range. And it looks like the expansion is going to go down to Stim Marauders. It's a huge loss there for lalush. That was really keeping him in this game, being that extra base up on naama. lalush just on the same term, or on even terms with naama now, economic-wise, could be absolutely detrimental to his game plan, as he is mineral heavy, or he's not mineral heavy, but he's resource heavy. naama sitting very mineral starved and gas heavy, as he does only have